We've only got about 10 minutes left, so I kind of want to throw it out to anybody out there. If you just sort of shoot your hands in the air, I think there is a mic that's going to sort of just be hurled at you, so I hope you're good at catching. So if you want to just stick your hand out, and someone will run to you, or maybe I will do it. I will do it. Oh no, thanks.
What is the clock at the back of the room counting down to?
Lift off.
I have an explosive device.
We're in the space center. We're all going.
This is how much longer we've got to go.
I've got a question here.
Huge.
What's the most dangerous experience happened to us on set?
Sorry, Frazer, say that again.
What was the most dangerous experience happened to us on set?
Danger.
Many.
Well, I mean, truly, the first thing I had to do on my first day, because the only stunts that I ever had a stunt person for, they couldn't find a woman stunt woman, a female stunt person, who was small enough. So the only two that I ever had done, because we did them ourselves, because John loved doing everything, so I had Stuart Fell, who was actually amazing actor. He was a stilt walker and he worked in circuses because he was really tiny. But on my first day filming, they showed me how to, I'll say this very carefully, tuck roll out of a moving car, which was, that was the first thing I did on my first day's filming. And I didn't do it, the car goes really, really, really slowly, and they sort of speed it up. So you do this tuck roll, and I did it, they said, oh no, we have to go again. Hello. So I did it again, and I pulled all the ligaments in my foot, doing it, but I didn't tell them, because you don't, and it was only when I went to do it a third time that my boots started to get tighter and tighter and tighter, and in actual fact, I was lying in this room because I had to go to the hospital, and Christopher Doyley John came in and he said, oh, well, that's all right, we've only got a few seconds of you on film so we can recast. I am in pain and I'm sobbing. Absolutely, yes.
The compassion's amazing, isn't it?
However, in comes John Pertwee and says, what's wrong? I said, that's it. And he said, Christopher Doyley John, what have you just said to Katy? He was winding me up, wasn't he? Yeah. But, so that was sort of fairly, but we did things, abseiling. I've never abseiled, I thought it was on a boat. We get to the top of a mountain, I said to John, where's the boat? He said, what boat? And I said, well, I'm going to abseil in. He said, no, darling, that's bouncing down the side of a mountain on a rope.
Very quickly, how about you guys? Your most dangerous moment?
Well, I think for me it was the tank in Battlefield, which cracked under my hands and all the water came out. It was that was quite something. And Sylvester saved my life, quite literally, because I'm in this tank and the water's coming up like this, and somebody hadn't done their maths properly, and so they'd skimped on the thickness of the safety glass. And I felt this crack under my hands, and Sylvester, who realised also that I couldn't hear or see anything, was standing right outside the tank, shouting at me, are you okay? And he saw this happen, and he just shouted at the top of his voice, which is not inconsiderable. He shouted, "Get her out of there!" And the visual effects guys on the top of the tank, I put my hands up instinctively. They just pulled me out, and I saw all this broken, the glass, the tank just broke, and all this water came swishing out. It would have had me going with it. And then the next thing he did was, because everybody was running for the cameras, jumping on the, but of course they're metal and there's electricity everywhere. So he shouted, "Switch off the electricity!" And somebody turned the main switch off. So I mean, he actually was a proper hero that day.
Or somebody else shouted, "Recast!"
I don't remember any particularly dangerous things other than, you know, like mountain climbing in 2-inch heels in Groombridge. That was fun for Castrovalva. But that reminded me of a story from when we were filming Terminus. We filmed at Ealing Studios, and there were all these tunnels, and Mark and I spent a lot of time in them, and somebody who'd worked there years ago told a story about Noel Coward doing, is it In Which We Serve, where they're in the where they're in the submarine?
They get hit by a submarine. It's a warship. Yeah.
And there was a scene where they had to submerge. That, you know, the submarine. You know, they were in the turret of the submarine, and that was to be filmed in the water tanks that we were in at Ealing. And they said, well, you know, we can't. We'll just do it because, you know, we don't want to. We don't want to have to refill the tank. And Noel Coward said, no. We'll run a rehearsal first. And they would have drowned had they done it the way it was originally intended to be done. So, you know, lesson learned about water being quite dangerous in all sorts of ways.
Well, obviously not learned.
Not learned, because there you were, you know, 50 years later, facing a similar sort of danger.
Well, we were filming the war games at Brighton Rubbish Dump, and there was it was supposed to be explosions, World War I, and we had to run up to this barbed wire fence, and the director said, David Maloney said, there's a big explosion there, and you dive down. So Patrick said, oh, how big is the explosion? Well, we'll do it on the tape. Patrick said, no, can we just see what's... No, we can't, because you'll have to set it all over again. Patrick said, well, I really haven't... Look, we'll get the guy who set up the explosion, he'll come and reassure you. This guy came along with half a face and 2 fingers. We were doing a stunt for the Charlie Drake show a month before, and I put too much powder in the explosion across his fingers. So Patrick went, blow it now. So they blew it, and this huge rock that had been buried underneath would have landed right where Patrick would have been stood. So that's it.
Always go, show me first.
I think it's very different these days, so they're a lot more careful with what, say, compared to certainly back in our very early days.
I don't know that they're...
On the Power of the Doctor, Jamie kept coming up to me and saying, do you think you could do this? And, you know, he said, and showed me, like, when they were shoving me into the TARDIS on the parachute, and he said, if we strap a plank to this dolly, and then we just, you lie on top of the plank, and then, you know, you wave your legs, and then we'll just shove you really hard into the TARDIS. Are you up for that? I said, yeah, sure. Yeah. And then later that day, when I saw this plank and stuff, then the crew were looking, are you sure? I said, yeah, sure. But it
makes it more fun, and also I think, you know, by saying tuck, you know, like tuck rolling out of the car, what it does is it means you don't have to do those dreadful cutaways where you suddenly see this person rolling into shot, you know. You actually get the lovely full flow, and I think it does make a difference rather than constantly cutting and then, you know, cutting to the person looking like they've just done the stunt. I think it, you know, just...
I managed to fall down a multi-level shaft in Power of the Doctor, pick myself up, dust myself down, and walk out of, you know, sort of run out of shot. I obviously bounce, we Australians do.
Famously.
Another day at the office, honey.
We're in our final minute, okay? I don't know what happens when that timer reaches 0, but we're going to find out.
Lift off, I told you.
Lift off.
Excited.
A final question, super quick, if you can, to put it into a sentence. What would your life lesson, either yourself or your companion speaking through you, what would your life lesson to the audience today be from your adventures in time and space?
Never buy metal outdoor furniture.
Always wear sensible shoes when running in quarries.
Fabulous.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
It's too late for some.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
Katy?
have my glasses. Everything was a wonderful surprise every day, including the actors who I often didn't recognize.
Incredible. Thank you so much, and thank you, of course, for doing the event. Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Please put your hands together.